horses on my shirt. Mess with my kids and you're bound to get hurt. I do a show through the week, best believe it ain't weak. Plenty money to be made when it needs very paid. If you want to find me, then subscribe me. Go to YouTube and sign me. You'll see all my internet fame. If y'all a hater, don't scream my name.
She rock Burberry, roller coaster, chillin' with the fam, on a private cruise.
That's what I'm talking about.
Play house every day, stay home when Atlanta Falcons play.
Oh my goodness.
Every time.
You never tell me.
You should know these things.
You're the co-host for a reason.
Oh, you're the host for a reason.
Jeez. Anyway, all right. Welcome back to the Wende Neen Show. I am your host, Wende Neen.
And I am your co-host, Britt, with 2 T's.
Britt with 2 T's. You're not going to believe this.
What?
We have an awesome show today.
I've heard.
Man, we got a guest that can blow. I'm telling you, this chick is blowing up. When I say that, she blowing up. And you heard it first right here on the Wende Neen Show. That's what I'm talking about. But you know what? I'm going to put you in suspense. We're going to talk about a little something else before then.
Really?
Yes, we are. Let's talk a little bit about in the news that I heard today that just like blew me away. Michael Strahan and Nicole Murphy. They got disengaged. What's up with that?
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
It's definitely a shocker.
And then it happened right before he was about to get his Hall of Fame acknowledgement.
Well, at least we know that's what she was in it for.
Let's hope not anyway. But that's why they said it kind of got a little emotional. But I tell you what, I don't think he's going to have any problems moving on.
Oh, no.
I definitely don't think so. Because you talk about blowing up, dude is blowing up. He is on Good Morning America. He's on Kelly and Michael. I mean, he's on everything. So good luck to you, Michael. And you know what? If you're listening, which I hope you are, give me a call. We can talk about it. I'll get you through this moment. But anyway, all right. The other thing we got to talk about before we bring out our special guest, treachery. Treachery is coming to the city. Treachery is a series that's done by Wende Neen Productions. And it is starring Wende Neen, of course.
Britt with 2 T's.
And she's playing Dylan. And Dylan is a Dylan.
No one knows what a Dylan is.
Well, you know what? They're going to find out.
Oh, yeah, most certainly you will find out.
And then, of course, those of you who are on Twitter and follow RK Rondo, he's playing the part of Drake. So he is in treachery as well. The whole point and the bottom line, all I can say is, it's treacherous.
Very treacherous.
Very treacherous.
Oh, goodness.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and get everybody out of suspense. Because I'm excited myself. I don't even know how to act with this here. But we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Now, City of Atlanta, GA, in Austell, Georgia, all the way. Where my Pebblebrook people? Where my Pebblebrook people? Woo. Make some noise.
THS, we rock the house.
The house. Coming all the way from there. Support your own. This is what Pebblebrook produced. Carla Paige to the Wende Neen Show.
What's up?
Carla! What's going
on?
Have a seat.
Awesome.
Uh-oh.
That's my jam.
That's you. That's what I'm talking. I can't even sit down because I already know what's coming.
We all know what's coming.
Oh, yeah.
We all knew.
For those of you who may not know yet, yeah, that's Carla Paige.
You got one girl here, never
Paige.
Hello. How are y'all?
We are awesome.
Great.
The question is, how are you?
I'm good.
You know what?
Amazing.
Welcome to the Wende Neen Show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I am so glad to have you. Now, for those of you out there who don't know this, I always am on Twitter, of course. Those of you who don't know, that's Wende Neen Show. Follow me. But I was on there one day, and I just happened to see this little attachment of a song, SoundCloud. I pressed it. I'm like, okay, whatever. Carla, I was blown away.
Thank you.
I was like, what? I have got to get in touch and reach out to this girl. And the part that blew me away, you responded immediately.
Oh yeah, I always do that with all my social networking sites.
Yeah,
I respond immediately.
I was in awe.
Thank you. So
I'm
much.
a fan just from that one song.
Thank you.
I am truly a
It's
fan.
a great song.
And then it was interesting to me when she said, which kind of blew me away, I love your show.
Oh yeah, I'm a supporter.
I
support
was
everything.
like, what?
Mhm.
So,
Exactly. It's crazy how it works.
it is. It really
Mhm.
is. But tell us, I mean, you have a beautiful voice.
Thank
You really do.
Mhm.
True talent. How did all of this get started? When did you start singing? I mean, when did you discover this? Did someone bring it out of you, or you knew you had it, or what?
You know those little tape recorders that people use, that we used to use back in the day with the little microphones? They bought me one for Christmas, and
Oh,
I used
wow.
to always sing on them. And you know, like in elementary school, they make you sign up for like a music class and gym, and then all your little science, math, and so I had to take music.
I remember.
And learning music, and so you're automatically forced to be in every production that the school does if you're in a music class. So they had like the Christmas show with all the kids, and then they would have like, you know, every other event. And then I got my first solo, and my first solo was me being Billie Holiday. I was Billie
Oh,
Holiday,
yeah.
and I was the only kid to sing, actually sing. Everybody else lip sync.
No way.
I was the only one that got to sing, and I killed that song. I tore that song up. It was bad. You listen to that, you're like, dang, she can't sing. But then you couldn't tell me that, because I tore that song up. I
That
can't
is
tell you the name of the
awesome.
song. But it was by Billie Holiday.
How old were you?
7.
And you were tearing up some Billie Holiday.
I was tearing up some Billie Holiday.
Wow.
No, I don't think I was actually older than that, actually. But I started when I was 7. I was probably about 9, 10.
Even still.
I was older, though.
Yeah.
So where I could research her and figure out who she was and what impact she had on music and stuff like that. So it was a nice production though. It was Black History Month, and I got that.
So would you say that was the turning point, or did you kind of brush it off, or you just said, oh, I just did it for my assignment?
I'm probably one of the few people that can say that I went through all the levels. So I started off doing poetry. I had a teacher in elementary school who introduced poetry to me, and the first poem I did was Mary Had a Little Lamb. And it just meant so much to me how poetry worked and how all the kids knew it, but I got to perform it. And then we did, what's that Christmas poem? "'Twas the Night Before Christmas, Went All Through the House."
Yeah.
That one, and we just kept going. So then I started writing, and I became a great writer in elementary school, writing essays, poetry, and it just built from there. And it kind of tied into singing, because then, you know, you start looking at how the singers wrote their music back in the day. And I started doing that young, and I really got into it. So when I got to middle school, I started rapping. And writing, rapping, poetry, combining, and then that's when I actually started songwriting. And then when I actually knew how to, I didn't have music, so I did everything a cappella. And I can still remember all the songs from even back then. That's like 7, 10 years ago, however long. Can't think of my top of my head. But I just went through that whole process, and I just kept up with it, and it just stayed with me over the years. And it just built. And my passion, especially writing, being in the AP courses and the advanced courses in middle school and elementary school, it developed me as a writer. So everything that I do now is just with ease. Like, you know, you give me a topic, I give you an essay. You know, I write people's essays in college. Just because I love to. It's what I love to do. So anything centered around writing, music is just like this bubble. And it's just like all inside. Like, like moving around, and I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just watching it, and I'm just growing in the process.
That's talent.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what else that is? That's
What?
your passion.
It is.
That's your
I
true
love
passion.
everything about it.
And you were able to discover it at a very young age.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
That's the good thing.
Now, so Pebblebrook.
PHS.
Did you do anything there for anyone to kind of recognize that, wow, Carla Paige is going to be, you know how they do the superlatives?
I honestly don't think so. I was the bottom dog, in all honesty, at Pebblebrook. I want to say as a songwriter, I was behind the scenes. I met a guy named Aaron Small, who's one of my producers to this day. And I met him my freshman year, and he really, I would say he's really the one that really got me to really wanting to write music. I met him, and he, you know, was a writer freshman year. He was a sophomore. And he used to talk about music, and he started sending me beats. And I used to write, but I never got anything recorded. But he really kickstarted everything, and that's what I did all those years. I was in one production. I was in Hairspray. My first audition, I got Lil Inez.
No way.
Got the lead role. But I wouldn't say I did anything major in terms of Pebblebrook productions or anything concerning Pebblebrook. I did most of the stuff that made an impact outside of school, like local shows, local talent shows, city events, volunteer events, just stuff to get my name out in the city. But Pebblebrook, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I mean, I grew as an actor. I grew as a dancer. I really found my passion there. Well, I definitely can say I really grew as an actor at Pebblebrook. That I
So you
do
were
say.
part of the performing arts
I
program?
was. I was third place in state for the Shakespeare acting competition, and I made it to the top 10 in the August Wilson monologue competition.
Wow.
And they aided in that. I you know, they helped me a lot, dancing and all that. And I was never in the voice department. Not
No
once.
way.
I was in orchestra. I played violin, but I was never in the voice department. Ironically, at Pebblebrook, I did everything else but that.
Yeah, that's very ironic.
And I did every Black History show, and I spoke there, did poems there. I would say I sang the least.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to say that. I sang more outside of school than in school, which is why I would say that I feel like people knew I was talented, but I didn't get a spotlight. And I never asked for one. You don't need it. I know what I'm capable of doing. It would be nice, but it's not a necessity. But once I graduated and I found myself in what I really wanted to do, when I got to college, I really, stepping on campus, I found myself literally, like the day of, I was like, dang, I know who I am. That's what I said to myself, because I was on my own, I was free, I could do what I wanted to do, and I was able to stay up and do what I wanted to do, and that's exactly what I did. And now everything's happening, and all the people from Pebblebrook, you know, it's like, yeah, I remember you were talented, but now you're doing it, girl.
Yeah.
So I never, you know, I had never had that in school, except for when I did win competitions and stuff like that. But I loved it, though. You know, it helped me. It helped me find my way.
Everything has a time or a place.
You're
it
right.
was a time.
It
yeah.
definitely, and this will blow your mind. The Usual, I wrote in 2011.
Wow.
Mhm. But like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do in high school exactly, and that was kind of my period. You know, people say your time is coming. I say my time is now, because I feel like that time, that period in high school was my moment leading up to now. Because it just happened. Over Christmas break, somebody asked me to write them a song off a YouTube beat, and I wrote it, and I said, Carla, you know how to write music. Why are you not doing anything?
Right.
And from that moment on, I kept that song, and I went through my emails, and I said, I wrote this song in 2011, and I got in the studio, and I got it done in March, and released it on my birthday, and we are here right now.
That's it. That's how it works.
Yep.
So do you think that you're going to stay with vocals, or would you like to explore rap more, or
Oh, I love rapping.
do a little of both?
I don't know about rapping on my songs, because it's just a different feel, and everything is kind of, you know, secluded based on what the song is about, but I do a lot of ciphers.
Okay.
I love doing ciphers. I did a cipher competition in Atlanta, was it 3 weeks ago? Got second place.
Oh,
Only
wow.
girl. I swear I was the only girl there.
Wow.
It may have been another girl, female artist there, but I went there, and it was a citywide event, and they have a national competition coming up for the Hip Hop Awards. And The Usual got put on the mixtape handed out at the BET Awards by me being in that competition. And I came there, and the event, you know, everybody was set up. It was a few celebrities there. And I got on the stage, and I did The Usual. And people, you know, was able to watch the footage of the cypher and me singing online. And a day before the competition ended, I went online. I went from 9th place to 1st. Lost first place at the last minute. The last minute, the guy came back. But I am honored. I was honored at 9th place.
Exactly.
I was, you know what I'm saying, I was fine with that. But then I get on my grandma said, you know you in first place? I said, no. I started crying. Because the national level, you get to compete for a record deal and $10,000. So it would have been a great opportunity. But it's not for me, clearly. I didn't get it. But I'm honored to, you know, to do that and to have been able to be a part of it and showcase my song.
Absolutely.
It was great. It was fun.
You never know.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to cue up The Usual again,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're going to hear a little bit more of that.
Okay.
And afterwards, because I've listened to it quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to know what was the meaning behind this.
I got you.
This is saying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hear a little bit more of that.
Should you keep me? Should you chase them? Cause they got so much to offer. Tell me what I wanna hear. They say you can be a player. I'm keeping my faith, so baby, tell me what I need to know. You think you can play from the start? Cause you're through. Then get wrong when I look into your eyes. Really think that you, but you hate what I can be.
I love the bass. I just love it.
I can tell. I just love it, period.
Thank you.
It is, and especially to be your first.
Yeah.
To put out like that.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, what was on Carla's mind?
I know a lot of times we're supposed to come up with stories for interviews. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I wrote that song in 2011. So I honestly don't know what inspired me in that moment for me writing it, but I did come back before I recorded it, and I did the bridge in the dining hall at Valdosta State, which is where I go. And I wrote that whole bridge there. But what I intended for the song to be about was not necessarily for a specific person, but for the common situation, you know, as being younger. You know, when you right, you know, you go through and you're talking to a guy or girl, and they're like, oh, you got all these people that want you. You know what I'm saying? You know, and basically in the song, I'm just showing from a girl standpoint that yeah, you have, you know, this girl here, but I got the same thing. So if we're in the same position and you're doing me like this, and I, you know what I'm saying, I know I can be a player. That's what I meant. I know what you can be. You know what I can be. I can be a player. It's obvious. I got people here, but I'm not doing that. I'm choosing to be with you. And because we're both having that little debate with each other, it's basically just about us being in the same boat.
Yeah.
Just a common thing that we all can relate to.
And I like that it's called The Usual.
The Usual. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like same old stuff.
Exactly. And I'm like, boy, I'm not the usual because I'm not doing that. I'm not doing what I can do
Yeah,
for you.
I like that.
And, you know, when somebody, you got a boyfriend, and he's acting up, just be like, boy, just sing it to him. He'll know.
We just
Exactly.
play it.
But I just wanted people to be able to relate to it and to be able to say they've been in that situation. Even,
Well, I
you
tell
know,
you what, we can relate.
definitely.
Definitely. So, tell me this. I was on Twitter again,
Mhm.
as I always am, and you were like, I'm getting ready to perform in Six Flags.
Oh, man.
And I thought that was just incredible, awesome. And you notice I retweeted, I put awesome. And do you know that got so many retweets?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that is incredible. So tell us about that experience.
Sometimes I don't even know the extent to which some of these events, like how big they are in somebody else's eyes. I just look at it, oh, another chance to perform, another chance to do what I love to do and have fun. But I work at Six Flags. I'm a team member. I work in the games department. And they had their first showcase talent show ever. It was the first one. So I was debating, should I do this? I wasn't going to do it. I went and copied the track, the instrumental on the CD, and I turned it in, and I performed it a little bit for the guy who's over the event. And last minute, I got there and all the people were there, and I don't really say too much at performances. You know, everybody's backstage talking about what they're gonna do. I just usually sit in the corner and rehearse things in my head.
Yeah,
But-
I noticed it before you came on. You were doing it.
I just rehearse in my head and get focused. You know, that's what usually you do before a monologue. You get into the character and what you're gonna do, what you're gonna say, and that's usually what I do. So I had no intent on winning or thinking that I was gonna win. I never think like that. I just use the opportunity. But I performed and I rocked that. I must say, the crowd, they were into it. I start usually because the intro to that song is so long. I rap on it. So when I do live performances,
wow, no way.
and I start off stage, so they don't know it's me. Cause I'm like, yeah, I start rapping. They're like, who is that? And then I come out like, oh, that's Carla. So I started off stage, and I don't think anybody knew it was me because it's not on the track on SoundCloud. So I came out, and everybody started screaming, and then I started singing, and they got into it. They were clapping, and it was some good talent. It was some great talent. It was a girl who raps there. She did phenomenal. She does music. A guy who played guitar. Some dancers, but when they announced the third and second place, I was back there on the phone with my grandma, and they called my name, and everybody came running back there, and they was like, "You won!" I was like, "Oh!" And I ran out on stage. I didn't know what to say. It was just like, I don't know. It was just a great feeling.
Oh, I can certainly imagine.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just. And then I kind of get mad because I had this song for so long. It's 2014. Why did I, But like I said, everything happens for a reason. So I'm not mad I didn't release in high school because I may not have got the same turnout.
Right. That's the whole key.
Exactly.
Timing.
And I
The
wouldn't
time
have
and
met my
place.
producer, whom I met in Valdosta,
Right.
attending Valdosta State. So his name is Brian Rivera. He's my other producer. So everything happened, and I started crying, of course. I'm a crybaby. I cried at all my events. Cry, I'm gonna cry after, I'm gonna cry before. I'm just gonna cry because this is the only way I could get it out when I want to. So
But we don't want you to cry today. We
I'm not
want you to be happy on the show.
I'll be happy today. But I just get so emotional when I do this stuff. This is what I love so much, and some people just don't get it.
No,
You know?
I totally agree.
They're like, "Oh, you won the show. That's great." I'm like, "No, this is life. This
Yes.
is another door. This is what I've been waiting for."
Yeah.
And now that I reached it, it's just like to me it was like a picture frame with a timeline, and that was another X, and I'm gonna keep moving, and nothing's gonna stop me. And that was just another part of the timeline, and my destination is like right ahead. So it's a
Exactly.
great feeling.
Most interviews that I do, when everyone kind of talks about their passion, I
Mhm.
can certainly relate because
Yeah.
we do what we have to do to earn a living.
Exactly.
But when we chime in on that inner passion,
Right.
time goes by, we don't eat, we don't sleep, we focus on exactly that.
Mhm.
And that's how I am when it comes to Wende Neen Productions.
Exactly.
The Wende Neen Show. It's like, I found it, I'm
Mhm.
sticking with it.
Exactly.
But yes, I've got to make a living,
Mhm.
but it won't be until I get here
Right.
that I'm going to be satisfied.
Mhm.
So I definitely can relate to what you're
Right.
saying. So tell us what you got coming up, because I know it has to be something. What you got going on? I heard, now tell me if I heard it right.
Mhm.
You got like a video shoot or something
I
coming up?
do. It's kind of a surprise, and I know it's not going to be everyone that is a fan of me isn't going to be able to watch the interview either because they're going to choose not to, or they're not going to have access to it. But
We're going to make it
I want everybody to know. I haven't told anyone though. I haven't promoted it publicly, but
You heard it first, right?
You heard it first, right here. This is the first person. I have a video shoot this Wednesday and this Friday for my second single, Main Attraction, which releases August 10th at 10 o'clock p.m.
Wow.
And we just solidified everything that needs to be done for the video today. We got it done, so I'm going to email it to the guy, and I'm getting the dancers together. We're going to shoot that. But my biggest event is this Sunday. My first solo, this is my performances at Vinyl, which is on Peachtree Street. And that's a nice place to perform at as a performer. And
Wow.
basically the event is featuring about 5 to 6 artists, and each artist gets a 20-minute time slot, so I can do whatever I want to. So I got my whole show together, and I got some nice stuff planned out for my supporters, and even for the people that didn't necessarily come to support me.
Mhm.
Got some stuff for them. We got a nice show. I got an artist I'm featuring who came all the way from Seattle. His name is Alan. And he's coming down, and we're going to rock the stage and do a duet, and we're going to knock that out the park.
Uh-oh.
Featured him, and it's a blessing, and I'm excited for that. My second single, I will tell you, it is a pop song, and no one's expecting it from me.
Okay.
I feel like when it releases, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't know you could do that." Yeah,
So
it's a
what
party
genre
track.
would you say that you fall under?
I honestly don't even know.
It sounds like you just do a little bit of it all.
I do it all. That's the thing. But I know I'm supposed to have a targeted, genre, and that's what I've gotten over time from different people. You need to make sure you know what you're doing. But I'm gonna do what I love. I'm gonna make music however it comes to me. I'm gonna write it, and if a song comes out to be hip hop, if it comes out to be an R&B track, if it comes out to be pop, then that's what it's gonna be.
Exactly.
And the people that support me are gonna rock with it regardless.
Exactly.
And however it plays out, that's how it is. I'm not gonna write specifically because that's the genre I need to be under. I'm gonna do what I love, and I'll get benefits from it if it happens, and if it doesn't, I'm still gonna be happy.
Right.
So but I would say that I enjoy doing pop. It's really fun. It's fun, and it's me. I'm tiny. I like to jump around. I like to dance. I like to move. So the pop song that's about to release, oh yeah, it's gonna be good.
I kind of like doing that
Mhm.
myself.
You'll be surprised, but I love pop. I love the urban, all that stuff. But I do have a passion for R&B because I feel like that's where you can really say a lot and people will listen. You hear a lot of pop songs, you just automatically think when you jump around because it's the beat. When you hear an R&B track, it's like slow. You can't, late nights when you listening on the radio, you just like, dang, those lyrics are deep. And that's where the R&B comes in for me. And that's where I write some of the best songs, R&B, because it's so much you can put into it. But that's every song. I'm a big lyricist.
Really?
When I write, ironically, I don't think it's ever taken me more than 10 minutes to write a song. The Usual is different only because I wrote it years ago. But when I did write it, I'm sure I wrote it down. This is how I write music. I listen to the beat one time, I'll go back and listen to it again, and the first thing that comes to my head, I'll get the recorder and I'll record it, then I'll go back and put words to it, and that's the song.
That's incredible.
That's just how I do it because I feel like the first thing, usually like with tests, when they tell you put the first answer that comes to your head, that's the music. The first thing that comes to my head is usually the best thing, and then I'll go back and tweak it. But I have to say my favorite song that I've written so far, which hasn't been released, but it will be released in September, took me 10 minutes to write.
Wow.
And no, I don't think anybody's gonna believe that, but it's just when you get into that rhythm and that flow, and you got something, it just comes. This main attraction song, it started off with a section of a beat, and we took this song step by step. He did the first part, then we went back and did the second part, and I said, oh, I want this switch up here. He went back and did that, and we did that one piece by piece. But each piece is usually, the hook comes back, so it really didn't take me no time to finish that one either.
All right.
But that's the beauty of it. You don't want to take forever. If it comes to me, it comes to me, and I get it done.
So, who is your favorite artist?
Michael Jackson. He's not even an artist. He's like
Icon.
he's in everything. And I know everybody says that because everybody loves him and you can't help. But it's like everybody that knows me knows I talk about him like growing up and watching him and watching just who he is as a person. I used to watch every video. My dad has every video he ever did. And I got a tape. My favorite song by Michael Jackson was a song called Destiny. I don't know if you ever heard it, but it's one of those, tracks that didn't get popular. But that's my favorite song, and he basically said, I want destiny, it's the place for me. Give me the simple life, I'm getting away from here, let me be free. And it just put me to where his mind is as a human, as a person. I just look up to him because it's just, I don't know, like how can a human be so great?
Yeah.
And it's from dance to writing to singing, it's like he didn't even need a manager. He could just show up. I'm Michael Jackson. I could,
And then the appeal he had on the audience, just to
exactly.
people lose it.
Exactly.
All he had to do was raise a hand. But the thing about Michael that I liked, and I really kind of agree with you, he's one of my favorites. Michael's voice was incredible.
It's different. Nobody
can touch it.
Nobody.
It's awesome.
It wasn't like I can't explain it. He doesn't sing. It's like
Yeah.
That's what he does. He's die. That's what
I
it is.
totally agree. I put him up there, of course, being the male,
Mhm.
with the Whitney Houston.
I was just gonna say that. That is who I also look up to. And with her, I look at her as just a woman. She never exposed herself, you know, except for in the aspect of, you know, the things she did as far as drugs. But she was just, you see pictures of Whitney and you just see a woman. You see
Yes.
her with, you know, this nice, beautiful outfit, but she doesn't have to show herself.
Right.
And it's like both of them, they're great lyricists, even though they didn't write all their music.
Right.
But Michael Jackson, you sit down and listen to those lyrics. I know you can't understand what you be saying sometimes, because some words I still have to Google, because I'm like, what did you say? But when you figure out what he said, it's just like, it just makes so much sense. And he's just, even at a young age, was just wise beyond his years.
Yeah.
And you know, that's somebody that's truly enveloped in their craft.
Yeah.
That's all he did.
And I agree with you as far as the exposing yourself.
Yeah.
That's huge. Because Whitney, I mean, we all know Whitney had the little wild side to
Right.
her. But when Whitney hit the stage,
Always.
in her gown,
That's what my grandma always told me.
classy, elegant, and then when the voice comes
Right.
out, that's it.
You can't
She's
beat it.
in her element.
You
can't
sound just
tell
like
her.
my grandmother. She says that. She's like, you need to get it. Oh, she says that all the
Yes.
time. I promise you. And I just love them both. And just I don't know. They're just amazing.
Yeah. Well,
And I
that's
just-
good. Those are two good ones for
Exactly.
you to look up to.
And just because I know Michael a lot, he gives back. That's my biggest thing. I know how hard I'm working to get to where I am. And for me to get there and forget how hard I worked to get there is basically everything I did is in vain, you know?
Right.
And I want to give back everything that I do like he did. Because I know where I came from and I know how I started and I know what struggles I had to go through. And I know that when I get there, it's people who started at the same place I did. And I want to be that bridge to link us, which is why I say I get back to everybody instantly. Every competition that I did, you can go back and see me personally thank every single person. If it takes me a billion years, on my birthday, I had over 1,000 notifications.
Wow.
From people saying happy birthday and from saying, yo, your song was great. It hit 1,000 plays in a day. And I sat down the next day and I went back and I said, thank you so much for supporting. And I replied back. And that's what I always do.
Yeah.
I will always do that.
And that is good. It's definitely good to be that way.
You got to support the local artists because we're going to be global one day.
Oh, yes.
We got to start, you know, local. So people forget that.
Well, I tell you what, you've got the Wende Neen Show.
Thank you.
Most definitely.
That's a great feeling.
And again, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This is great. I love it.
And we're definitely going to close out with the usual, but before I do that, and I'm going to certainly ask, you want to do a little something for us, a little freestyle, just for a little bit, you know, whatever you feel comfortable with.
I'll just say this one simple thing, just so it can stick with y'all. Y'all, I don't know if you've heard the usual yet. If you haven't, you can definitely go to soundcloud.com/Carla Paige. But this may not even sound good. But I don't know what I was about to do. I am not the usual. Simple. Just remember that. I'm not the usual.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. I wish I could do more, but you know. It's just...
That was enough, trust me. Let's take it away with the usual.
Yes.
One more here,
That's
one
what
more
I'm
there,
talking.
one more chasing me, one more
Turn it
on
up.
my phone. Say it, girl, we need to know. One talking about how he missed me, another one saying he could kiss me better than you and all these
That's
other
it.
guys in the world.
Thank you, Carla Paige, for being
So
on the Wende Neen
should I
Show.
keep you? Should I chase them? 'Cause they got so much to offer. Tell you what you wanna hear. You say how we do it. You keep
It is what it is. It is done. Until next time, au revoir. Turn it up. Let's take it out.